and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa banye ndefe na aja ha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị na ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọbụla anyị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezu oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikwuru anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile. Onye ọ bụla anyị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise.
Against anybody. I'm not here to push any evil agenda, but I'm here to set the record straight, to encourage my Biafran brothers and sisters, to encourage all the freedom fighters all over the world to continue to stand firm and pursue the truth. Continue to stand firm and pursue the truth. I will always try my best anytime I have time to come online and speak to my followers, speak to my fellow brothers and sisters, those of us who are bent on getting our freedom, mainly the Biafran people. The Biafran people. I myself, I am a Biafran. I am a Biafran. I didn't make myself Biafran. I didn't create myself as a Biafran. Chukwu okike abịama, who made me a Biafran, know why he did so. And with all pleasure, I am happy to be a Biafran. And in my next world, I will always also come as a Biafran. If there is a next world to come, I will always come as a Biafran. I'm proud to be a Biafran. I'm proud to be Igbo Biafran. That is what I am. And I'm proud. I have no apology to anybody for being a Biafran. I have no apology to anybody for being Igbo. I have no apology for where God has made me a black person. I don't have any apology to anybody. Whatever Chukwu okike abịama have given to me, I appreciate it. Any position he has placed me, I appreciate it. And I will always use it to appreciate him and also appreciate my brothers and sisters in Biafra land. Before I proceed on the message of today, I have to first of all thank our brothers and sisters in Biafra land. Every single person in Biafra land, if you're watching me from Biafra land, I say, may Chukwu okike abịama guide and protect you and secure you. And those of us who are abroad, we have to continue to thank our brothers in Biafra land, continue to pray for them, continue to encourage them, because the battle has just started. The battle has just started. The problem and the situation in Biafra land is not a child's play. It's not an easy thing. Our brothers and sisters in Biafra land are facing, they are taking the bullet for us, those of us who are abroad. Very, very soon, we are coming to take the position and join them in the struggle. Because it will not be all said online. We cannot always be online with talking. We cannot be talking from a distance all the time. The time is coming when every one of us will assemble to defend our line. We will defend our land, and that time is close. But for now, every single person that is a Biafran, if you're not in Biafra land, continue to encourage our brothers and sisters in Biafra land. Continue to appreciate them. Continue to pray for them. They are facing the bullets. They are taking the gunshot. Above everything, against all odds, they are standing strong, carrying that gospel of freedom. Against all attack, against all odds, against all intimidation. It is not easy. If anybody tells you that the freedom we are fighting about is easy, it is not easy. And our brothers in Biafra land, our brothers and sisters in Biafra land are the ones facing the greatest challenge. That is why we must not gossip about things. We must continue to support them, encourage them the best way we can. As we are away far from home preaching about the civil disobedience. On daily basis, we are preaching about the civil disobedience. They are the ones who are, we are encouraged. They are the ones who are giving us that courage. They are the ones who are following up and embarking on that civil disobedience that we are talking about. It is our brothers and sisters in Biafra land that are facing it. It takes a lot of gut for you to do anything in that contraption called Nigeria. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to do anything in the contraption called Nigeria, because the enemy we are up against, they have all the instruments. They have the money, they have the power, they have the forces. What do we have? We only have the land and we have the people. Against all, the enemy have penetrated even among us. They have succeeded in taking control of some of us. They have succeeded in taking control of some of us in Biafra land. You see some people who are Biafrans, instead of encouraging their brothers and sisters on what is happening, on how the freedom will come, they are the ones discouraging their brothers and sisters. They are the ones making sure that the brothers and sisters do not pursue that which is right. They are the ones being a strong distraction to their own brothers and sisters. It is a very sad situation, but what are we going to do? Shall we stop doing what we are doing? We can't stop doing what we are doing. We will continue until Biafra comes, because we know what we are doing. We know whom we are following. We cannot look back. Every day you wake up, you go to social media, you will see a new revelation. Every day you wake up, you will see a new revelation. And those revelations is making us to know where to follow, what to do, and how to go about things. But sometimes, instead of us using those revelations for the positive note, some of us are using it in a negative note. When the revelation comes, instead of you to be waking up and know the right thing to do, you see some of people as something of saga. I think they call it saga. They will call it a saga. A revelation that was made for Biafrans to know whom they are, for Biafrans to know where they are going, to Biafrans to know where to follow. Instead of you looking deep with your clean heart, with your... That is the situation we have found ourselves. That is the situation. Do not allow yourself to be distracted. The enemies are very serious to stop us. They are trying every now and again to stop us and make sure that we don't preach the message. Facebook are doing their own attack. Our fellow Biafrans are also embarking on their own attack to make sure that they stop their brothers from saying that which is right. So many revelations are coming. Every revelation you are seeing that is coming, it doesn't matter who is bringing the revelation. It doesn't matter where the revelation is coming from. Every revelation that Chukwu will allow us to know, it is pointing to one thing, for us to know where to follow, what to go, who is fighting and who is not fighting. For us to know the direction to follow. But you see people, when a revelation comes, instead of them to follow that revelation and pursue that revelation with open heart, take that revelation with open heart and make correction where necessary, you will not make those corrections. Instead, you will begin to use it as a saga. You begin to use it because you hate your brother that made that revelation, because you hate that person, because you don't like the person who is saying what he or she is saying. Because of that, you will not support that which you yourself know that is right. How long shall we continue to peddle lies? How long shall we continue to concentrate on the things that are not meaningful? How long? How long shall we continue on the path that we know that will not lead us anywhere? Every Biafran, wherever you are on the planet Earth, should know that it is our responsibility to fight for our freedom, to take our freedom. Nobody will give us freedom in the platter of gold. Nobody will. It is you and I that will go for our freedom. We will take it. We have to take our freedom by force. Stop waiting for anybody. Stop begging for freedom. You don't beg for it. You take your freedom. Because the enemy don't want us to be free. That is why every Biafran, wherever you are, you have to wake up. Wake up. The battle that we are up against, the people that we're up against we are fighting against the most deadly group. They are the people we are fighting against. People who have no conscience. People that have no conscience. People that don't have no truth in their mouth. People who don't have conscience, they can do anything anything possible. They can do anything for money. It is so sad. It is so sad. So many of our people can betray for a little things. It is not just about the Igbo Biafrans. It is not just about the Igbo Biafran. Every single Biafran. Let us stop using that term Igbo. This is not about the Igbo Biafra. It is about every Biafran, as long as a Biafran in the old southeastern region, the present south, or the southeast, and the lower Benue. Every one of us is involved in this. We have to start sensitizing each other. We have to start encouraging each other to pursue the truth and follow the truth. To pursue the truth and follow the truth. Talk to your fellow brother with open heart. When your brother brings a suggestion that you know that is workable, follow that suggestion, support that suggestion. Do not destroy something that you know that is working simply because you hate the person who is in the leadership, because you hate this person who is pushing forward that very agenda. You begin to destroy it even when you know that the person is saying the truth and what the person is pushing for is the right thing. It is wrong. It is wrong. So many revelations are coming. The latest one that you see people talking about on their platform, what happened recently about the leadership of Biafra and Radio Biafra. It is not right. It is something that every Biafran has to condemn. Every Biafran has to condemn that action. It is not right. It is not right. Removing the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra and the leader of the supreme leader of the supreme leader of the digital people of Biafra. It is not right. There is no reason whatsoever on the planet Earth for somebody to even think of such, to remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name. For somebody to wake up and begin to think of removing him, let alone say you put it back. And when you are putting him back, you are putting him back as a co-director. It is not right. It is not right. And every Biafran have to condemn that. Every Biafran, wherever you are, you have to condemn it. You have to condemn it. Let us stop covering evil. Don't say because it is so person that made the revelation, because of that, you will not support it. Because somebody made that revelation, it is not you. You want to destroy it. You want to make sure that that thing he's saying that you know that is true becomes a lie. How will that help the coming of Biafra? When you know that the man that is fighting for you and I, the man who is the leader of IPOB, the man that established the Radio Biafra, the man that is flag bearer of the struggle, the man that established the IPOB that we all know, how can anybody wake up and begin to remove him from the leadership? How? For you to wake up and think of removing him, that means you have an evil agenda in your heart. For you to ever imagine removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra, removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the supreme leader of IPOB, for you to have that imagination, you are dubious. Everybody needs to speak against it. That is evil. It's an evil act. You know that the leader of the struggle, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is in captivity. He is suffering because of this same thing you are removing him from. He is suffering. You are not making effort to bring him out. You are not making effort to release him. You are concentrating on taking him away. They say they removed him after they put him back. For you to even think of, for you to ever imagine removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for you to have that imagination in your heart, you are evil. For you to have such imagination, you are evil. And Biafran have to beware of you. For you to even think of it, thinking of removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra, thinking of removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leadership of IPOB, for you to imagine it in your heart, Biafrans need to beware of such person. And such person should not be hidden. Anybody that did such thing should not be hidden. It should be exposed to the public. The Biafran people need to know the person, because that person doesn't want us to have peace. That person doesn't want Biafra to come. That person is evil. And you see some of them saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have been reinstated. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not reinstated as the leader of IPOB. Go and check it. The information is out there. Co-director and director is not the same thing. These are two different things. Co-director and director is not the same thing. This is an English language. It's an English language. And the people that made co-director and made director, they are not foolish. They are not foolish. They are not foolish. For people to put something like co-director and director, they are not foolish. And all this while, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been the director of Radio Biafra and the leader of IPOB. Why did all of a sudden you begin to make him a co-director? Why? Why would anybody imagine tampering with such a thing when we are having a critical situation? When the man in question who has given it all, who is suffering because of this same issue, is in the hand of the enemy. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of enemy. What every Biafran is supposed to be doing today is to see how we are going to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being released unconditionally. That is supposed to be in the front burner. That is supposed to be what every single Biafran is supposed to be concerned about, and not removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader of IPOB. And to my greatest surprise, some people that I respect, some people that I thought that they have some things upstairs, you see them seeing this evil that happened, and they are supporting that evil. Seeing the evil that is happening, and they are supporting it because somebody raised the topic, because they don't like the person that raised the topic, because our brother Simon Ekpa raised the topic, and people who hated Simon Ekpa for no just cause. You hated him because he is not speaking the language you wanted to speak. Because of that, you do not want to support that which is right. You see evil that is happening before your own very eye, and you are supporting that evil. Instead of you speaking against that evil, you are supporting the evil. It is sad and painful. It is very sad and painful. The struggle for Biafra has gone to a different level. It has gone to a different level. Chukwu Okike Abiama is in charge. And that is why Chukwu Okike Abiama, by his grace, is making us to know everything that we're supposed to know. Everything that is done in the secret in the struggle for Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama reveals it. Everything that is done in the secret in the struggle of Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama reveals it. That's why you don't have to be quick to judge. When you hear people saying something, don't be quick to rush and judge. And don't just join people to condemn someone when you have not had enough information. If you don't have enough information to speak about a topic, don't speak about it. Excuse me. If you don't have enough information to speak about a topic, do not speak about it. Do not engage in a fight that you are not sure of. Do not engage in a fight simply because you see your friend fighting somebody, simply because you see your brother or your sister or your mother or your father or your benefactor fighting somebody. You just rose up and you begin to engage in that fight without knowing the cause of the fight. What you are supposed to do first of all is to verify the cause of the fight. If you can be able to settle it, make amends where necessary and settle it. That is what you're supposed to do. And not for you to begin to take sides. Even when you have seen obviously that your friend is wrong in what he or she is doing, simply because it is your friend, you are still supporting the evil. What does that make you? That makes you an evil man or woman, whoever you are. That makes you an evil man or woman. But the most painful thing is that people have lost conscience. People have lost shame and conscience. We have a lot of shameless people in the world today. A lot of shameless people that they can't even hide their shame. Today, people cannot hide their shame. How can you shame the shameless? That is the worst question. That is the worst thing that can happen. How can you shame the shameless? A shameless person, how can you shame the shameless? When you see people who, even when they know they are wrong, they will never agree that they are wrong. They will continue to peddle lies. They will continue to push evil. They will continue to push falsehood, even when they know that what they are doing is the wrong thing. We are in a situation where every Biafran have to be responsible. We have to be responsible for whatever happens. We have to be responsible. It is sad. It's sad. It's sad. When I see the kind of argument they present, Yannick John, if I see the kind of argument they present, I feel so sad. I feel so sad. When the truth is very open and clear, when the truth is very, very clear, it was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that established the Radio Biafra. He established Radio Biafra. What reason do you have in the planet Earth? What reason at all? What will make you to begin to imagine removing the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? as the director of Radio Biafra? What were you thinking? Whoever did that, what were you thinking? And you see where we are having so many problems. You see where the leadership, when people say that leadership is not capable, sometimes when you point at the failures of leadership, they say you are attacking them. From the onset, when the issue started, when this trouble started in IPOB, from the onset, it was never an attack. It was all correction. I could remember when it all started, our brother Sam Adepka was always making correction. When they go astray, he was always making correction. That correction, most of the people who were speaking out today were making that correction indirectly. They were making that correction in-house. They were writing. They were calling the leadership, writing and calling, but they refused to respond. They refused to respond. People call, people wrote, they refused to respond. They become invisible until it got out of hand. So people have to come and educate the Biafrans and let the Biafrans know what is going on. The same thing in this issue today that is happening, the issue that is trending about our school Mazi Nnamdi Kanu removed as the director of Biafra. When you have found such a thing that happened, this is something you have to come and announce openly, that leadership is supposed to come and announce that whoever is responsible, they were supposed to investigate and now tell us why was such a thing, who was involved, and that person should not have anything to do with IPOB anymore. For that person to, for anybody to wake up and begin to imagine removing the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra, removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader of IPOB, for somebody to imagine that in his or her forehead, that person, we don't have to associate with that person. No Biafra has to associate with such a person. That person is evil. You are doing this when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in captivity, suffering because of that same thing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today is suffering because of Biafra, because of IPOB, because of the Biafran people, because of that Radio Biafra. And you wake up and begin to remove him. And people come on their platform and begin to justify such action. On which planet? How are you going to justify it? How will you justify such a thing? For somebody to imagine that in his or her head, that person is evil. And some of them will tell you that it was removed and later they put him back. Nobody put it back. They didn't put it back. As even up to now, unless they put it back a few minutes ago. It wasn't placed back. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has always been in that document as the director of Radio Biafra. He has always been there as the director of Radio Biafra. But all of a sudden, he is now a co-director. Co-director and director is not the same thing. These are two different languages. We are not fools. Co-director and director is not the same thing. These are not the same thing. And you see somebody coming out to begin to support it. You see some of them, they after accepting that it was wrong to remove him, some say he has been placed back. But go and check what is written there. You will not go and check it. Can you look through and see what is written there? What is written there? Is it written director? Why is it now written co-director instead of director that it was before? Why is it now written co-director? Co-director, that is what they wrote there. Go and search it by yourself. Go and search it by yourself. You see, it was written co-director, not director, co-director. Why is it that they are changing it? Why are they writing that co-director? Why is it co-director? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supposed to be a co-director. And that is the trick they're using. You see them talking, they say he has been replaced. It has not been placed back. It is not the way it is anymore. And the most painful one is that it has extended that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer the leader of IPOB. They know this information and they are hiding it. They know this information and they hide it. The leadership saw this very information and they are hiding it. Why must you hide such kind of information from the public? Why must any well-meaning person hide such information? This is an information that every single Biafran has to know. Why will such a person, and such person should be brought to the open. We know who did that, and then make sure that that person do not have anything to do with Biafrans anymore. That person is not supposed to have anything to do with Biafra anymore. You see some of them, they will be asking some unnecessary questions. They say who gave the woman the key, that they have the password, talking about password. What does password have to do with it? It is very obvious that leadership of IPOB has the path forward all this while. They have the password. There is no other person that had the password to log into that thing to make any amendment except the leadership of IPOB. The leadership of IPOB. And if they say they don't have the password on this while, it means they don't know what they are doing. That is what it means. It means they are not capable. The only people who has the authorization, who has the password to be able to log in and log out to make any amendment of such is supposed to be the leadership. And when such amendment is being made, they are supposed to know. It is not somebody elsewhere that we call them and say, so thing is being done. Why did you do that? But from all indication, one of our brother who came to testify, somebody who is even supporting the DOS himself, he came to testify that he saw it, that he was the one that saw it, and he called the attention that they must go and restate the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. How are you telling me that such amendment will be made, and those who claim to be Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is them, they were not aware? They will tell you that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is DOS, DOS is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but such kind of a thing was done. They say they are not aware. Why are we now just playing the role of Janjaweed, just like Buhari is doing in the contraption called Nigeria? Anything that is done in Nigeria, when you ask the government, they say they are not aware. Everything that happened in Nigerian government, ask Buhari, Buhari is not aware. It is that same system now that you are seeing in IPOB. Something as grievous, as serious as removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of IPOB, as the director of Radio Biafra, as the leader of IPOB. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was removed, and the leadership are claiming that they were not aware. And somebody is coming to testify that he was the one that called their attention and told them to restate his name. And when they were reinstating his name, they did not reinstate his name as the director of Radio Biafra. They will now put him as a co-director. And people are not paying attention to that. People are not paying attention to that. Co-director and director is not the same thing. This is English language. Co-director. The people that made that space for co-director and made space for the chief director, the director himself, they made a space for director and co-director. They are not fools. These are two different things. These are two different things. All along, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, each day he come to make a broadcast. Go and watch all his broadcasts. He will introduce himself as the director of Radio Biafra and the supreme leader of IPOB. That is how he introduced himself. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been introducing himself in that form until he was kidnapped. And all of a sudden, somebody will wake up and tell me that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, while he was in captivity, told you to remove his name. And you remember that this same thing was something they used to accuse Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The defense team, Labaran or whatever they call him, came and said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu denied being the leader of IPOB. It was one of the games they were trying to play, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu denied being the leader of IPOB, to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a liar. You all knew, you saw when it happened, when they said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer the leader of IPOB, that he denied being, not being leader, which is a lie. And the lawyers came to debunk it. And all of a sudden, somebody now went to go and make that very accusation against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to make it normalized, to make it official. Somebody now went to make that very accusation against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu official by going to Radio Biafra to remove the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra, removing the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the leader of IPOB. You now want to legitimize the accusation against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in course answering a question based on that very thing you are doing. How can anybody on the planet Earth begin to justify such action? How? I thank God that even some people who were supporting the leadership, some of them that still have a little conscience in them, some of them that still have little conscience in them, have started questioning, why would somebody wake up? Why would somebody wake up and even think of removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra? Why? A Radio Biafra that he established himself. He built it to the standard that he is today. He built it, he established and built it to the standard that he is today. IPOB, established by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, built it to the standard that he is. You just wake up and begin to remove his name. while he is still alive, why he is still with us, why he is in the court answering a case, instead of you bringing idea, how are we going to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? What are we going to do? You are not doing it. You are playing other games. And those who claim to be in leadership, just like Buhari, saying they don't know, they didn't know that it would happen. It was somebody that informed them that look at what is going on. And they came out and began to defend the indefensible. They came out and begin to defend the indefensible, begin to tell us that the person was authorized to do it. Authorized by who? Even when somebody have come out to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and I cannot imagine Mazi Nnamdi Kanu authorizing such a thing. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself know fully well that this accusation have come before him. This accusation is already before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They have already accused him that he has denied being the leader of IPOB. He has denied being the leader of IPOB. All of a sudden, you wake up to begin to legitimize that accusation against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You wake up in your own wildest dream. You just wake up and you begin to legitimize the accusation against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is sad. It is sad. It is sad. Exactly. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said he's not the leader of a proscribed IPOB. That is true. That is true. But when you relate it to what is happening, nobody is right senses, knowing the connection between these questions with what they have just done. They were not supposed to do it at all. And anybody that wake up, if the leadership of IPOB are sincere, if the leadership is pure, anybody that imagined, even by mistake, remove the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, that person should be penalized, and that person should not have anything to do with IPOB anymore. Anybody that wake up and think of such in his or her heart, don't tell me you remove him and you put him back. Anybody that even think, the day you think about removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director, that is the day everything you have to do with Biafra has to end. That is the day everything you have to do with Biafra has to end. But instead of them taking action, as usual, they are coming to defend evil. You see why some of us say what we say? When we say it, some people say we are attacking. We are not attacking, but most of the time, when correction is being made, even when they make mistake, when somebody points out that mistake, instead of them taking correction, they will support that evil and promote it. How can you be protecting? How can you be defending the indefensible? The person who claimed to have blown this whistle the first time, I saw a video that I was watching. I was watching a video. That person is somebody who is supporting the DOS. He's supporting them, but he said he was the one that blew the whistle the first time, and he told them that they must go and restate the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is not right. And after 48 hours, they went and restated his name, but they did not. The mistake he himself is making is that he didn't go and look properly. Co-director and director is not the same thing. Co-director and director is not the same thing. They are two different things. A co-director doesn't have absolute control. A co-director is just like an advisor. The director is the person who is in charge. A director can take any action at any time. But a co-director can be sacked. A co-director can be removed. A co-director don't have any say. It is two different things. Director and co-director, they are two different things. Don't be deceived. Any Biafran, wherever you are, they have succeeded in removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Legally, they have removed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director of Radio Biafra and the leader of IPOB. It is the truth and nothing but the truth. But for you and I, those of us who are Biafrans, we know deep in our heart, and no man born of a woman can remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Deep in our heart, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the leader of IPOB. He remains the only leader, the only flag bearer, the symbol of Biafra and freedom in Biafra land is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There's nothing you can do about that. But when you come legally, they have decided to do it legally in their papers, in their documents. They have done it. And that is the truth and nothing but the truth. They have done it. But the question you have to ask yourself, What is the motive of somebody who wake up from his sleep or her sleep and begin to remove the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? What is the motive of that person? What do you tend to achieve? Will removing of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's name make him to be released from captivity? Did the Janjaweed tell you that if you remove his name as the leader of IPOB, remove his name as the leader of Radio Biafra, they will release him? Is that what they told you? If that is the agreement you reach with them, you let us know. If you reach agreement with the Janjaweed to say that you should go and remove the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from there, if you remove the name of Nnamdi Kanu from IPOB, then they will release him. Tell us, let us know. But his name is still there. His name is still there as a co-director. Even though that his name was tampered with. Even though his own name was tampered with, there are still some things that were added to the name, which we are not even sure if it is the supreme leader of IPOB that we know that they put there. Exactly, Yannick John. They have been trying as much as possible to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu irrelevant. They can only do that legally with their papers. But when it comes on the groundwork, you can never ever make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu irrelevant. That is why every time I thank my brothers and sisters in Biafra land. In Biafra land, the Biafra land that we are defending, every single child, every single mother, everybody in Biafra land, they know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the supreme leader of IPOB. They can never, no man born of a woman can change it. It wasn't you and I that appointed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It wasn't you and I. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had a spiritual appointment. Chukwu Okike Abiama gave him the mantle. And he has not failed. Chukwu Okike Abiama appointed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Then he by himself came and proved himself to us. He proved his sincerity. He proved his consistency to us. So, if any man is trying to make him irrelevant, go continue to fight. It will take your life for you to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu irrelevant. It will take your life, whoever you are, trying to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu irrelevant. It will cost you your life for you to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu irrelevant. The more you do all that, the more you are making him more relevant. Today, the whistle has been blown. You see some people, the reason why they will not talk about it or speak truthfully is simply because of the hatred they have on our brother Simon Ekpa. Because it was Simon Ekpa that made this revelation. It was Simon Ekpa that made the revelation. Even the other brother was claiming that he told them to restate. He told them to put it back. He saw it and told them to put it back. But they did not put it back. He never went back to go and look properly and see what they wrote. What they wrote was a co-director, not director. Which is wrong. So simply because it is our brother Simon Ekpa that made that comment, some people who don't like him, who don't hate him, now decided not to embrace the truth. They no longer want to hear the truth. They don't want that. And these are the people who are telling you that I stand with the truth. I stand with the truth. I swear with the truth. I stand with the truth. I will not talk lie. Anything I talk is truth. But at the same time, you are seeing the truth staring you at your face. You see the truth staring you at your face. The supreme leader of IPOB removed as the director of Radio Biafra. Radio Biafra that he established. Radio Biafra that he is suffering because. Radio Biafra that he has gone to jail for. Radio Biafra that they almost killed him for. Radio Biafra that made him to lose his parents. The IPOB that he stands for that made him to lose his parents. That same IPOB is once you have succeeded to remove the name of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from. And somebody with his right senses is saying that it's okay. Somebody with his right senses, he said he's busy asking who gave her the password, who gave the person who changed the password. How can you ask such kind of question? It is obvious that the leadership of IPOB all this while, they have the password. They have it. I don't need to ask who has the password. I don't need to ask such question. I don't need to ask who gave the password, because we know fully well that the leadership of IPOB, I don't know who is in charge, whoever. When I talk about leadership. They have access to the password. And whatever happens there, they are supposed to be aware. They are supposed to be aware. I don't think anybody can tamper with anything in that very place without their authorization. I don't think anybody related to them can be able to have access to that. I don't think any other person outside the leadership, I don't think any other person outside the leadership can be able to have access to make changes to make changes in the issue, in the documents, very important documents as that. That is the documents that is holding Biafra. That is the documents which every single Biafran issue is being registered on. Every place. Do you know the worst thing? These people are just evil. These people are just evil. They are bent on destroying Biafra struggle. Do you know that every place where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have filed the case of Biafra, every place where the case of Biafra is, do you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is there as the leader of IPOB? Do you know that every document that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has signed on behalf of Biafra, he is signing as the leader of IPOB and the director of Radio Biafra? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is signing every document. He is signing every document as the leader of IPOB and the director of Radio Biafra. And all of a sudden, we wake up and see that he has been removed. And people think it's right. People think it's right. This is supposed to cause an uproar. This is supposed to cause a revolution. This is supposed to cause a revolution in the struggle. For anybody to wake up, begin to imagine of removing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as the director, for that thought to come into you alone, you are evil. For that thought, there is no betrayal and no destruction that is more than this one. None is more than that. And the most painful is the people who are supposed to excuse me. The most painful is that the people who are supposed to come to explain to us what transpired and how it happened, instead of explaining and letting the Biafran people understand, they come to bully you and I. They come to bully us. From the direction of the legal team, they say it doesn't matter. How doesn't it matter? They say it doesn't matter. Who said that it doesn't matter? Who said that it doesn't matter? How can anybody say that it doesn't matter? It doesn't matter that you remove the director of Radio Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You claim it is with consent. When did you discuss that with him? When? Where were you discussing that? Is direction from, or maybe direction from the DSS? Maybe it is the DSS that told you to remove his name. You remove his name so that we will free him or what?